Hello, this is Rob. Welcome to episode number 5 of the Kooky Tales Podcast. Before this episode begins, I just want to apologize for the sound quality of this episode. We have been experiencing more technical difficulties than I have ever had on a podcast. Of course, I do my normal shows in here in my home office and home studio. I've got a mic, a mixing board, and all that stuff, but we are recording Kooky Tales out in my workshop, and so we've set up kind of a temporary studio out there, and I think I'm really just pushing the limits of that laptop by running 3 cameras plus a microphone and everything else at the same time. So about 2/3 through the episode, the good microphones kicked off, and so I do have a backup, and instead of having half the episode in good quality audio and half in not so good quality, I decided to just use the backup audio and do the whole episode with that. So it doesn't sound quite as good as I hope to present on these episodes, but it is listenable. So anyway, bear with us as we get everything in line, and I think we've got maybe some kooky leprechauns messing with the settings. So we will get everything patched up for the next episode, and until then, enjoy this episode of Kooky Tales Podcast. From the dawn of time, man has collected and shared stories. Many of those stories are inspirational. Some are haunting. And many of them are downright kooky. Welcome to Kooky Tales, a show where Rob and Susan discuss stories ranging from the supernatural to the downright bizarre and everything in between. Whether you prefer the dance macabre or doing the funky chicken, join us as we decide if these tales are spooky, full of dookie, or just downright kooky, here on Kooky Tales. It's like,
being stabbed in the eye with an ice pick.
I was going to say being tricked by leprechauns.
Oh.
Yeah. We have it. You don't sound too excited to get started here. I'd like you to get in your excited podcast.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah. Let's drink.
We've had some... I need it. We've had some technical difficulties getting this show. What do we have here?
This is green beer.
Oh, it's very full.
Slanche. And,
Did you say slobber? What?
Slanche is what they say in Ireland instead of like cheers. It means health.
It tastes like green Bud Light.
It is. I didn't know exactly how much green to put in it, so our teeth aren't green yet. But I'm guessing tomorrow we'll know.
Gonna make our poop green. Is this a traditional St. Patrick's Day outfit you have on? What do you have on today?
I have on green. Green bracelets, green earrings, green eyeliner, green teeth.
I have a blue shirt with green stripes, but it's for a reason, which you'll find out later in the show, because you said Kooky Tales is getting a little dark. There was a little too much paranormal, a little too much abduction, so we're lightening it up this week with just some fun, kooky St. Patrick's Day facts and Ireland facts and facts about St. Patrick himself. And you've brought a guest. We have a guest with us on the show today.
Yeah, this is Paddywhack Gallagher.
And would you like to tell everybody how Paddywhack Gallagher got his name?
Yeah, I was in Ireland with the kids and my mom a few years ago. And we went to a cemetery outside of Dublin to do some genealogy type research. And the cemeteries are packed there, obviously, because Ireland's really old. And tombstones go all the way out to the edge of the parking lot. And so when I was driving, I pulled up into the parking lot and I got a little bit too close to a tombstone. I didn't touch it, but I was about that far away from it. And his tombstone said, "Here lies Paddywhack Gallagher."
That's his real name.
His real name was Paddywhack Gallagher, and I took a picture of it. I loved it so much that I've named our leprechaun Paddywhack Gallagher in his honor.
Is he the second, or is he the reincarnation?
And probably the reincarnation, because he does move about.
Mm-hmm. He moves about.
Anyway,
he's
Paddywhack
like
Gallagher.
the elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
He's the leprechaun that gets it on.
Yeah, I woke up one day and he was humping my leg.
Well, he thought you were a 4-leaf clover.
Yeah,
right.
I have something in my mouth. Sorry, go ahead.
Would you like to take care of that?
No, I got
on
it.
Camera here? Okay.
Got it. Nah. Oh, no, look.
Is it green already?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Here, I'll give you a close-up.
Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's green. Yeah, not yet, but I've had more.
Yeah, you have. Well, I could have used it now. Like I said, technical difficulties. Always fun on the podcast. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'll be looking forward to sending my other microphone back. That's fun. All right, you want to get started here?
Let's get this paddywhack started.
So I have some different, some facts about St. Patrick for you today.
Mm-hmm.
I have some facts about how people in different places celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
They drink green beer.
That is probably on the list.
Yeah.
Just some kooky stuff, just some lighthearted, a little bit different. No paranormal. Although leprechauns, I guess, technically are kind of paranormal. They're magical.
They're real.
They're magically delicious. Well, they're Lucky Charms, I guess. This is a list I found online on history.com. And this is 9 surprising facts about St. Patrick. St. Patrick's Day. But there will be a lot of facts about St. Patrick. This is actually
refreshing.
Yeah.
We should have been drinking it earlier.
Again, could have used it. Do you have a pre-drawing you'd like to show?
I do. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Whoop.
We should say that we are both Irish.
So Irish.
We're both pretty Irish. I'm
a little more Irish than you.
She says because her bloodline is slightly more Irish, but I gave you the Irish last name.
Right.
So I feel like I'm more Irish.
Do you know when people came here in the United States in the mid-1880s from Ireland during the famine, that Irish people had like this reputation of being lazy and blah, 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 and they would literally put in the newspaper in job ads, Irish need not apply. Did you know that?
I know they have bad. They had a bad reputation, which is going to be on the list.
Oh.
So we will get into that. But let's get to number one on the list. Again, this is from history.com. I got these lists, a couple different lists online. Number one, the real St. Patrick was born in Britain.
Oh, hell no.
So, and actually, they don't even agree on that. But what everybody does agree on is that he was not born in Ireland. This is what it says. Much of what is known about St. Patrick's life has been interwoven with folklore and legend. Historians generally believe that St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, was born in Britain, not Ireland, near the end of the 4th century. At age 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and sold as a slave to a Celtic priest. I thought that said Celtic priest, like the Boston Celtics. That would be weird.
That's where it comes
Their
from.
mascot is the Celtic priest. They were sold to an area now known as Northern Ireland. After toiling for 6 years as a shepherd, he escaped back to Britain. He eventually returned to Ireland as a Christian missionary. So it's kind of, I mean...
He didn't drive all the snakes out of Ireland?
I mean, that's on the list also. But it's kind of like, can you think of St. Patrick? I mean, he's Irish. It's like, if you ask people, like, what are 3 things you know about Ireland? They'd be like, green, potatoes, St. Patrick. And one of those things. What if you found out they didn't have potatoes?
Well, that's why we all moved here.
Just as simple, right? They're like, well, they're out of potatoes.
Right.
You got anything else you want to talk about that? Does that surprise you that he's not Irish?
It does surprise me. But it doesn't surprise me that he was kidnapped by Irish raiders.
You know what? That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. That's how we got our cats. That's how we got Patty Station Wagon.
Paddywhack.
Paddywhack?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 2. St. Patrick was never canonized.
Then, okay.
Despite his status as a patron saint, St. Patrick was never actually canonized by the church during his lifetime. Oh! I thought he was never shot by a cannon. Okay, this makes more sense. This was primarily because such a process did not exist when he died in AD 461. It wasn't until 993 that Saint Ulrich of Augsburg became the first saint to be formally canonized, and it was not until the 12th century that the church established an official canonization process overseen by the Pope. While St. Patrick has not been formally canonized, many consider him to hold saintly status.
Yeah, I did not know that he hadn't been canonized. So I'm just going to say, Ireland, when you go, is full of castles. It's like you'll just be driving down the street and you'll be like, oh, there's a castle. Oh, there's a castle. So just to set the tone here, right?
Yeah.
It's a map.
I hope everybody can see your green marker there.
Yeah, you can. Okay. All right, so this is a map of Ireland.
Somewhat simplified. You can find your way around with that.
Right. This is England. This is Britain right here, right? So the Irish Sea is what separates the two islands. And Northern Ireland is in the north.
Yeah.
And it's just a little tiny country in the top of Ireland. It's like literally its own country. We drove up there one day. It's where the Titanic...
How far is Ireland, top to bottom?
Oh, my gosh. It's not that long, because we drove the entire country and we were there for a week.
Yeah.
Right. So we went from Dublin, which is like down south, to Northern Ireland in about 4 hours and back. And
is this the dead baby from the other episode?
No, that's St. Patrick.
Oh.
Here, let's do it one more time. Let's hold it up. There we go. So anyway, this is a castle. They're everywhere, and it really is as green as you see on TV. It's an amazing place.
That's cool.
And I did not see any snakes.
Well, we're going to talk about why that is coming up right now.
Ooh, nice segue.
There were no snakes around for St. Patrick to banish from Ireland.
It's too damn cold there.
Among the legends associated with St. Patrick is the story that he stood atop an Irish hillside and banished snakes from Ireland, prompting all serpents to slither away into the sea. In fact, research suggests that snakes never occupied the Emerald Isle in the first place. There are no signs of snakes in the country's fossil record, and water has surrounded Ireland since the last glacial period. Before that, the region was covered in ice and would have been too cold for the reptiles.
Well, who knew?
So, if you were to ask someone like, what do you know about St. Patrick's Day? They would say, well, it's this canonized Irish saint, and he drove away the snakes. And then you would go, well, he wasn't really canonized. He wasn't from Ireland, and there were no snakes. But other than that, you nailed.
Right, nailed it.
Like every part of it is wrong. I don't know. But
did he have a love of the drink?
Don't we all? What accent did I do? I just did Irish. I did.
I don't know what you did.
I don't know. I did green beer.
Literally, we split one green beer, by the way.
That's it?
Well, I poured 2 in there just for good sake, but
I had something. It was really good.
So everything we know about St. Patrick was fake.
Pretty much all of it. It's all around. Number 4, leprechauns are likely based on Celtic fairies. Again, when we think about leprechauns, what do you think of? Other than Patty there.
Well, they are hunting for the gold at the end of the rainbow.
Right.
Right. They will bite you if you let them out at night. They have long fangs. That's from that movie.
That's from the movie Leprechaun. Warwick Davis would not appreciate that.
If you set a box out at midnight on St. Patrick's Day Eve, you'll catch one.
Is that true?
We got
that's raccoons.
Remember that time we stayed in a cabin and we left a box. We set up the leprechaun trap. Some more kid could catch herself a leprechaun. It was the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, we did used to lie to our kids and say there's a leprechaun that lived in a lighthouse.
We still tell them that.
We do tell them that. Okay. The red-haired, green-clothed leprechaun that's commonly associated with St. Patrick's Day. The original Irish name for these figures of folklore is Labarson, I think, meaning small-bodied fellow, which is Never been my nickname.
LaBarson.
Oh, LaBarson, you and your small buddy.
Give me my second bear.
Give me my bear.
I don't think you're supposed to say that. I'm sorry.
Probably not.
Yeah.
The belief in leprechauns likely stems from Celtic belief in fairies, tiny men and women who could use their magical powers to serve good or evil. In Celtic folk tales, leprechauns were cranky souls responsible for mending the shoes of other fairies.
Oh.
So, I mean, think about Lucky from Lucky Charms, right? Think about any happy leprechaun. No, they're cranky shoe cobblers. I always fixing the shoes.
I've already fixed this shoe 3 times now.
Right. There's no gold in the shoes. I have to do it. Oh, boy.
I hate my life in Ireland.
Oh, boy. Get out of this place. All these fairies and their broken shoes.
They're tiny, too. It's hard to work on tiny shoes.
I mean, it's funny that, like, if you think of the way that things, oh, you getting a tongue check here?
It's bad.
Is it?
How come yours isn't? I don't know. What's that?
I don't. It's not like a fine wine where I wash it around my mouth. It just goes down the hatch.
My tongue is coated. I think I need to go to the doctor.
Number 5. Well, you know what? Before I read, I should just ask you and get ready to draw some stuff here. How's your rocketbook doing? The dry erasable rocketbook.
It's permanent. It's not good.
Yeah. That's all right. You know what? That's more things you can put on your Zazzle shop.
Yeah, because everybody's going to want this map of Ireland.
if you're lost, you get down on a coffee mug, and then you're like, hey, where's Northern Ireland? And you just look at your mug, and then you go, oh, it's up.
Up. It's there. All right.
Anything you'd like to say about shamrocks?
Oh, their shakes are delicious.
No, not shamrock shakes.
Oh, yes. So if you find a 4-leaf clover, it's good luck. For life, right?
Really?
For life.
Your grandfather did your whole life?
Yep.
I found 1 million of them.
See?
It's worked out at the casino.
Yeah. The fields of clover are where the aliens come.
Is that true?
In New York City, Cloverfield. Oh, God. Honestly,
that joke was so bad I didn't get it.
I don't know. That's all I really know is that, if you find one, you've got good luck. 4-leaf.
Number 5, the shamrock was considered to be a sacred plant.
Yes.
The shamrock, a 3-leaf clover, has been associated with Ireland for centuries. Mm-hmm. It was called the Shamroy? I don't know how to say that. By the Celtics. And was considered a sacred plant that symbolized the arrival of spring. But according to legend, St. Patrick used the plant as a visual guide when explaining the Holy Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like to think of it as, like the 4-leaf clover would have been the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and the leprechauns.
Please don't get us electrocuted. Yeah, that's right. It is everything, you know, how they've got all that beautiful Celtic art and everything, you know. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of triangle, Trinity type stuff happening in Celtic art.
It says here that by the 17th century, the shamrock had become a symbol of emerging Irish nationalism. So that's around the time that they adopted the shamrock. I'm with you. Shamrock shakes, big plus. When I was a kid, I do remember laying in my yard, like on my hands, just like face down, looking for 4-leaf clovers.
Really?
Yeah. And then
that's so sad.
Here's a good story for you. We had a bunch of neighborhood kids over. My mom was babysitting, and everybody was being rambunctious. And so we were trying to find a way to calm everybody down. This wasn't like an official, like, hey, I need you. It was just something we were doing, right? We were like, let's find an activity. And so we said, hey, let's look for 4-leaf clovers. And so it was me and like 5 kids. And we went out, and one of the kids got down on his hands and knees and landed on a bee, and the bee stung him in the arm. And all I remember is that the stinger didn't fall off, and so he's like, but the bee was like, move. dog tried to get away because the bee was still alive, stuck on his arm.
Jeez.
And you know what? Not lucky for him.
Or the bee.
Or the bee.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
I'm
sorry.
scooching you there. Sorry. I could turn this sideways if you want. One of our many technical issues this week.
We have many issues this week.
Yeah. We're going to need more beer. Do you have a drawing you want to
I do. I mean, this is kind
share
of
with this one before I move on?
a composite type drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have the 4-leaf clover, right, at the top.
Okay.
A 3-leaf clover surrounded by some lovely Celtic knotting. That's as best as I could do right there.
Uh-huh.
A shamrock shake, right? And then up here we've got a bee stinging the 4-leaf clover.
Oh.
And it says good luck.
Well, I would say this. I thought that was the Audrey 2, the plant from Little Shop of Horrors. It just looked like it's like, feed me, Seymour. Give me that shake. But, yeah. All right. That's something.
That's something.
That's something. Are you out of pages there?
No, I'm still good. I've got 2 more, at least.
Number 6. Ireland's only female patron saint, Bridget, has her own holiday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
One of Ireland's 3 patron saints, along with St. Patrick and St. Columcille, is that right? Is St. Bridget, or Bridget, the patron saint of, you ready? I want you to listen up because these are all going to be in your drawing. She is the patron saint of Irish nuns, newborns, midwives, dairymaids, and cattle.
Oh gosh, cattle. That's hard.
Doesn't that seem like a grant? Like they're like, oh boy, we need this patron saint. What could she be? What do we got laying around? Like, some babies, some cows, some whatever. Like it just kind of seems kind of a potpourri, saint potpourri.
Mm-hmm. But living babies, not dead babies.
Not dead babies. It's a different episode. Believed to have been born in Ireland sometime around 450 A.D., Bridget was the daughter of a pagan king and an enslaved woman. She grew up to serve the church by building a church in Kildare, which was the site of a former shrine of the Celtic goddess, who was also Bridget. Said to have died in 524 A.D., Bridget's memory was kept alive by the church, which canonized her as Saint Bridget. In 2023, Ireland designated February 1st a permanent public holiday in Bridget's honor.
Wow, I did not know.
So, 3 patron saints of Ireland. 2 of them, well, I guess she was born too early also to be canonized, but St. Patrick not officially canonized at the time. I'm going to go out. I'm just going to say this. Mm-hmm. From now on February 1st, you and I are Irish enough, we're taking the day off.
We're going to Ireland.
On one day?
Yeah.
Like on February 1st, just fly over there and be like, I don't know the day off.
You would love it so much, man.
So what was I doing? I had something else. I had a scheduling conflict.
Not going on vacation with me and my mom.
Right. And she and her mom, did your sister go?
Nope, just the kids.
You and your mom and the kids went to Ireland. What was it, 5 years ago?
Yeah, right before COVID.
And I did not go. But if you'd gone on February 1st, you would have been there on a holiday. I feel like we are Irish enough, we should be able to celebrate that holiday.
I think, yeah, we should be able to.
Mark my words. February 1st from now on, I'm taking the day off.
I mean, okay, this drawing did not go well.
This is going to be the patron saint of...
This is... This did not go. Okay, so this is cows. This is pretty good.
That's Yoda.
That's a cow.
Okay.
This is a nun baby. And then the milkmaid, something happened where her head got really tiny and then her braids just got all jacked up.
I mean, this is a cow. This is a ghost. This is another dead baby. This is something that fell out of either the cow or the nun.
The milkmaid. I had a little trouble articulating artistically, what the milkmaid looked like. I started with the boobs and then her head didn't have any room left in the page. She's like got a pinhead type situation going on. Anyway.
That's a keeper. Not for the reasons you think.
Go back to the milkmaid. It's not good. That milkmaid's in the bottom corner right there. Yeah. But I got the milk stool down.
I like how you have to explain which is the milkmaid and which is the cattle. Like if you're trying to, you might be confused. Which is which?
All right.
Number 7. The first St. Patrick's Day parade was held in America.
Of course, because we commercialize everything.
Exactly.
Not in Ireland.
Not in Ireland. While the people in Ireland have celebrated St. Patrick since the 1600s, the tradition of a St. Patrick's Day parade began in America and actually predates the founding of the United States. Records show that a St. Patrick's Day parade was held on March 17, 1601 in a Spanish colony in what is now St. Augustine, Florida.
Oh.
We've been there?
We've been there.
We've been to all 50 states, and one of us has been to Ireland. 2 of us, if you count.
Paddywhack.
The parade and a St. Patrick's Day celebration a year earlier were organized by the Spanish colony's Irish vicar, Richard Artur. I don't know why I said it like
It sounds like you got peanut butter on the roof of your mouth.
More than a century later, homesick Irish soldiers serving in the English military marched in Boston on 1737 and in New York City on March 17th.
That makes sense.
Enthusiasm for the St. Patrick's Day parades in New York City, Boston, and other early American cities only grew from there. In 2020 and 2021, parades throughout the country, including in New York City and Boston, were canceled or postponed for the first time in decades due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. They returned in 2022. Well, that makes sense. We have things canceled here, and it was a suck. We also have St. Patrick's Day parades here.
Yeah.
And big ones were my one side of my family is all from Chicago. Pretty big celebrations there.
Downtown Oklahoma City, where we're from Oklahoma, they have this beautiful downtown area and this Myriad Botanical Garden Park it's built on top of a lake, right? Mm-hmm. And this year they dyed the lake green.
Night. Down there, did they?
Yep, environmentally friendly, just like
did they?
Oh my goodness, no. Yeah.
Not Irish. Not Irish.
Anyway, just like they do in Chicago, they use environmentally friendly dye.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
So
you don't want dead green fish bubbling up.
In Chicago, that might happen anyway if you've ever seen the Chicago River, but
Okay, number 8, the Irish were once scorned in America.
That is true.
You mentioned this earlier. Dating back to 2021. Mm-hmm. Well, it might have been earlier than that.
Yeah.
While Irish Americans are now proud to showcase their heritage, the Irish were not always celebrated by fellow Americans. Beginning in 1845, a devastating potato blight caused widespread hunger throughout Ireland. While approximately 1 million perished, another 2 million abandoned their land in the largest single population move of the 19th century. Most of the exiles, nearly a quarter of the Irish nation, came to the shores of the United States. Once they arrived, the Irish refugees were looked down upon as disease-ridden, unskilled, and a drain on welfare budgets.
Mm-hmm. But do you know?
Keeping the dream alive.
Do you know that the Irish, so they've just found a whole bunch of records in some public libraries. So the Irish, you probably are going to tell me this, but basically like the Irish National Archives burned down a few years ago. And so a lot of us have lost like our connection of who came over, to America from Ireland. Well, they found a bunch of bank records in Ireland. In New York City, I'm sorry, that showed like a lot of genealogy type stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And what they learned is that people who were living in Irish ghettos in New York City actually had the equivalent of about $6,000 today in the bank. So they lived in these ghettos because they wanted to be in their community,
right,
but they weren't broke.
Huh.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What do you got there?
Help wanted. Irish need not apply.
That's true. That was literally a common sign. So mm-hmm. We're doing a little better these days.
We're doing great.
We've been accepted.
I think we're killing it.
Yeah. And by the way, that is when my great grandparents came here.
During the famine?
Yes. on the O'Hara side.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
We're some of the people that lost some of our Irish records, so I can track in genealogy stuff, I like the Evans and the Littlefield side and stuff like that. But the name of the person who came over from Ireland, we haven't found the connection yet. But we will. We will.
Keep looking.
Right.
But until then, don't you think I'm more Irish than you?
No, because we can trace our bloodline all the way back to Constantine, the times of Constantine.
Is he Irish?
Just as Irish as St. Patrick.
That's fair. They're both from Britain.
Right. There are some Murphys in my line, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Shout out to our friend Patrick Murphy.
Probably my fifth cousin.
Good thing. All right, number 9. Corned beef and cabbage, which we will be having later today.
Cooking right now.
It's cooking right now. Is an American innovation.
What the heck? No.
And you'll like the end of this one. The meal that became St. Patrick's Day staple across the country, corned beef and cabbage, was an American innovation. While ham and cabbage were eaten in Ireland, corned beef offered a cheaper substitute for impoverished immigrants. Irish Americans living in the slums of Lower Manhattan in the late 19th century and early 20th purchased leftover corned beef from ships returning from the sea traders in China. The Irish would boil the beef 3 times, the last time with the cabbage, to remove some of the brine. The brine.
You know what brine is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Shrimp.
No, it's the water that you cook in, like a salted water.
I thought it was brine. Don't they say brine shrimp?
Brine shrimp, but that's a totally different thing. Yeah. No. What
are you drawing?
Corned beef and cabbage. So the way we cook it is we call it a boiled dinner, right?
Yeah.
You boil it, but in our case we're putting it in the Instant Pot.
Right.
So this is corned beef and cabbage. So there is the corned beef, obviously, carrots, potatoes, and then you wedge up a cabbage and put down in there, and then onions.
So first of all, I will say this. Number one, my wife is an excellent cook. My wife my wife is one of those people that can go in, like, open the pantry and be like, hey, here's some leftover cereal, a couple of packets of sugar, and some rusty nails, and turn that into lasagna or something. Like, she could just grab random ingredients and make meals. I could barely make peanut butter and jelly sandwich if I'm given peanut butter and jelly and bread. So
a nice smoother peanut butter.
Yeah, she is definitely the full-time chef, cook, food preparer. So now, why are we having corned beef? I always hear corned beef and hash.
Corned beef and hash is whenever you chop up the corned beef little bitty tiny, and you chop up potatoes little bitty tiny, and you stir it all up, and it makes like a mushy spread.
Yeah.
But corned beef and cabbage is the real boiled dinner. Like, it's potatoes, carrots, onions, cabbage, like all the vegetables, and then your dad will probably want some rye bread, so I'll have to stop on the way to his house with.
I thought you said something about soda bread.
If I can find soda bread, I will get soda bread. I'm not making it today. I've made it before, and it's just not worth the effort.
Is it just bread and you pour soda on it?
No. Part of the recipe, so yeast goes into normal bread, right? In soda bread, it's made with baking soda and baking powder to make it rise, to leaven the bread. So when you eat it, you actually taste a lot. It's not that sweet taste. It's got that more of a soda-y taste, like baking soda taste.
I literally thought this was made with Coca-Cola. I'm not kidding. Like, I thought, how like you put Coke on ham?
Yeah.
Or a cake sometimes?
No. Like baking soda.
Oh. You never had a cake float? All right. That is from the list from history.com. I found another list on irishcentral.com that has a lot of overlap. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to skip the ones that have overlap. This list is titled Weird and Wonderful Facts About St. Patrick and March 17th. But there were a couple on here that were worth calling out, so that's why I left this on here. And then we'll get to 10 ways that St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in other parts of the country. Let's see. The Irish can't claim credit for the invention of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. We talked about that.
Lies.
But this is one that I wanted to call out specifically.
Okay.
This St. Patrick's Day, we'll all be wearing green, but shouldn't it be blue?
No, if you've ever been to Ireland, you would know. It's green.
The original color associated with St. Patrick was blue. But because the saint preached about the Holy Trinity through the symbol of the shamrock, and the Irish little folk were also associated with green, that became the color most commonly associated with him. Parade committee organizers across the world would not take too kindly to us changing the color, so maybe we'll leave it green for now.
That's what I'm saying.
That is why I'm wearing a blue shirt, but with green stripes. Also, Susan calls this my Bert and Ernie shirt.
It does look like Bert and Ernie.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does look like something Ernie wears. But blue shirt with rainbow colors on it and green stripes. I like it. Okay, you ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
100 pounds of green dye was poured into the Chicago River in honor of St. Patrick's Day. In 1961, business manager of Chicago's Journey Plumbers Local Union, Stephen Bailey, received permission to turn the Chicago River green for St. Patrick's Day. Due to uncertainties about the about the amount of dye it would take to turn the river green, a massive 100 pounds of vegetable dye was used. In comparison, today they use 25 pounds.
Oh, they probably just dyed the hell out of everything down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says the Chicago River stayed green for a full week. So that's kind of funny.
Okay, so here, I'm going to draw a picture of the Chicago River for you, but this is Patty Watt Gallagher.
To come with that sound effect. Can you put it up next to Patty Wack so we can... Well, it's not bad.
I mean, it looks just like him.
Yeah.
There
you go.
Good luck, me hearty.
All right. Let's see. This talks about banishing the snakes from Ireland. We talked about that. Now, this is an interesting one. Mostly just because, I don't know. Because I know how much you love, like, sometimes you get grossed out when we talk about, like, body stuff, like surgery stuff or whatever. This is called the resting place of St. Patrick. Though never fully proven, Down Cathedral in the town of Downpatrick, it says Downpatrick Co. It's not Colorado. It's wouldn't be a
county. You know, they do everything by counties.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That is thought to contain St. Patrick's remains, and according to legend, he lies between Saints Columcille and Bridget. So they're all lied in a row there. Apparently, though, he's missing a few things like his jaw and a tooth. But those could be seen in the Dublin Museum.
Oh, really?
St. Patrick's jaw and not teeth.
Tooth. Times were hard.
And you know why? He only tell you nothing but the tooth. That's really bad. Apparently he's missing... Oh, we already talked about that. Okay. A few of the saint's relics can still be viewed in Ireland today. St. Patrick's Bell and shrines of the saint... shrines of the saint's jaw and tooth can be viewed in Dublin in the National Museum, while Patrick's copy of the Four Gospels is held at the Royal Irish Academy.
Wow.
St. Patrick's Crozier? What is that?
I don't know.
With which he banished the imaginary snakes, was venerated for centuries in Dublin's Christ Church, only to be publicly burned in 1538 under the orders of the Archbishop George Brown. Sounds like George had a few issues.
Wow.
So, I'm assuming, based on your reaction, you did not go to that museum.
No, Dublin's traffic was a nightmare.
Oh, everybody was coming at you head on.
Actually,
you're right on the wrong side of the street.
The parking was a nightmare. I love driving in Ireland, but the parking, you couldn't find any place to park. It was crazy.
But how would you have felt if you got into a museum and they were like, oh, by the way, here's St. Patrick's jaw and tooth?
Oh, I would be so excited. In fact, there's some place I wanted to go in Italy. I think it's Copernicus. Anyway, no, it's Galileo. They have a museum in Italy that has Galileo's finger in it. Just one finger. And I would go to that museum just to see his finger.
Not Magellan's. Wrong way, Magellan.
Right. All right, here we go. I think this is pretty good, actually. They could probably use this for...
It's a can of soup and a shoe.
With a tooth in it.
Oh, that's a jaw.
That's a jaw and a tooth.
And a jar with a tooth. I thought it was Campbell's soup.
I had a soup with a tooth in it one time.
Was it yours?
Yeah. It was yours. No, not really. Can you imagine how mad you'd be if you got a soup at a restaurant and it had a tooth in it? Remember that time that we went to a restaurant and there was a hairnet in the beans?
No.
We were at a Mexican restaurant and there was a hairnet in the beans.
Like they brought it to our table?
And it was in the beans.
Why would I not remember that?
Because probably your brain is turning it off.
I took our kids one time to it was a Chinese-owned breakfast restaurant place. And I watched them bring our plates to another table, and a guy got the salt shaker and shook salt on it for like 3 minutes, and then he goes, "Hey, this isn't my food," and the waitress came and picked it up and brought it to us, and I think it was either Mason's or Morgan's. And they were like, "This is terrible." And I said, "Just eat it. Just eat it, you know." But then I picked up a coffee mug and drank the coffee. And I was like, something with this coffee tastes like cherry or something. And I looked and there was lipstick all over it. And then that was it. And then we left. But I was going to let the kids eat the salted meal that someone else had been eating. That was at Baloo's place up in 10th.
They're out of business now.
They are out of business. And you know, we refer to that meal as the last time we ever went to Baloo's. That was terrible. Why did I tell that? I don't know. We are like the patron Saint Bridget, like just a little
spiraling,
like potpourri. You get a little bit of everything. Drink, and yet more drink. The Global Corporate Relations Director of Guinness says 5.5 million pints of Guinness are sold on any given day, but this figure rises to an astounding 13 million on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh my God, we need to go get a Guinness today. I love Guinness.
We will probably go to a pub tonight or something.
Just one Guinness.
It says we've come a long day from when all the pubs in Ireland were closed on St. Patrick's Day.
That's stupid.
Let's see. Okay. This is the last one on this page. It says the Royal Dublin Dog Show was the place to be on St. Patrick's Day.
I say.
Due to strict... You might want to draw...
I'm ready.
I'm giving you a clue here. Due to strict laws on the curtailment of sales of alcohol on holy days in Ireland, from 1927 to 1961, the only place a thirsty person could legally purchase or get a drink on Paddy's Day was at the Royal Dublin Dog Show.
I see.
1 TD. What would be TD? What does that mean? It's like a person who went there.
Say it in context.
1 TD was reportedly to complain that it was a grand occasion except for all the dogs.
TD. I don't know.
Okay, then it talks about him not being Irish, which we already talked about. So, some more fun facts. Did you like those?
I mean, yeah.
Are you learning anything here?
Yeah, I did not know that. How stupid would that be? Have you ever been in Ireland? Like, they drink everywhere.
Right, and then to say St. Patrick's Day you can't drink.
That's so dumb.
Or also, probably, St. Bridget's Day, February 1st, which we now celebrate. I feel like we should take a day off now because we missed it. Can you bank a holiday day?
I know, wouldn't that be great?
You're like, well, I had to work on Christmas, so I'm taking off, the 28th.
You know what holiday I would make is Columbus Day.
Well, it's not Columbus Day anymore.
Oh, well,
now it's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Right, I would still make that. Actually, that's not fun, because we go to the casino.
That is true, because that started off because any holiday where, that one specifically, because it was any holiday that we got off work, but the kids didn't get off school.
We went and did.
So we would go to the casino, someplace where we couldn't take their kids.
Right.
You want to wrap up one before we get to this other page here?
Yeah, I mean, so this... Okay. Stupid. This is the dog show.
What is that?
That's a dog on a dog stand, right? And then this is
It's like a bald porcupine.
It's a dog on a...
But look at that. That's like the Spikosaurus.
His tail has been fluffed for the dog show. And then there's a crowd of people, and they're all holding the drink. And then also the dog handler, if you will, go back to it, is holding a drink.
He's like, boy, that's why we're all here at the dog show today.
It's just some mutt, right? And they're just like, hey, put it up there so we can have a drink, right?
There you go. Are you out of pages on your rocker book
nope,
there?
I've got 2 more.
All right.
See, it's all working out fine.
Okay, last one. This is a list. This is a top 10 list, and this is from Babbel.com. How's the green?
I mean, I think I'm ill.
It might have been green before we started.
I brush my teeth.
Yeah.
I'm a good toothbrusher.
This is the 10 most unusual St. Patrick's Day traditions around the world. Ours is doing this, so it's not on the list. Number 1, New London, Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Gotta get up in
Which?
there.
We've been there.
Wisconsin.
We've been there.
Yeah.
With the kids.
You gotta get your cheese curds up there.
Went to a restaurant and I saw cheese curds, which I've heard my whole life. Had never had one before.
Yeah.
And the waitress came out and I said, "What is in a cheese curd?" And she goes, "Let me go ask."
Because it's made of...
Then she left. Then she came back and she goes, "I guess it's just cheese curds."
So good. Oh,
They're
that was
really good.
The best cheese curd I've ever had in my life was in Wisconsin.
I was only stayed at the UFO.
Yeah.
The UFO house.
Yep.
The Futuro. That story ended on a dead note. Thanks for making that up.
Anyway, in Wisconsin, what did they do?
In New London, Wisconsin, leprechauns crawl around the city each night and change all the signs to say New Dublin instead of New London.
I love it.
Even on the highway. Apparently this tradition stems from the wave of Irish immigrants that fundamentally altered New London's previously German culture profile in the 19th century. The leprechauns, and then it says members of the local Shamrock Club, go on to visit hospitals and schools. The parade also includes a staged adaptation of Finnegan's Wake. You know what Finnegan's Wake is?
Mm-mm.
That was a guy who slept for 100 years, and then he woke up and he was like, "Hey, Finnegan's Wake." Okay, that might be Rip Van Winkle. I think. Oh, wait. Okay. Finnegan's Wake was this woman who fell asleep, and Prince Charming, named Finnegan, had to come kiss her and wake her up.
So you don't know.
I don't know. Do you have something before we move on?
Hold on. I need 30 more seconds.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know what Finnegan's Wake is. I did just watch Waking Ned Devine.
That's leprechauns crawling around, and they've changed the sign to say New Dublin.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me take a look at that. They just look like they're dead. Are they dead?
That's what I know how to do. They're crawling around.
Oh, they're crawling.
Gotta use your imagination.
It looked like they'd had a little bit too much of the old.
Oh, can I tell a story?
Sure.
Okay. So the kids and I, we stayed in a town called Rush, Ireland. And on a Sunday, no less, the kids and I got up and we drove to the grocery store. And we decided we're going to walk around in this like little small town after we got our groceries and put them in the car. And here comes a guy out of the grocery store, and he's carrying 2 bags like this, and he's stumbling around. His legs are like, yo, lo, lo, lo. He stepped off the curb, and he just face planted. He just goes, it was like in slow motion. He goes, yeah. And he sat up, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And his head was all bleeding and stuff, and he goes, these bags are really heavy. He was plastered. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
That's funny.
The kids and I still talk about that. I mean, it was like this. Dorlo, his legs are stiff like this. Dorlo. Just. Anyway, there you go.
All right. Our kids have got a global education. They've been to many places,
seen many things.
Yep. I took Mason down to Fremont Street when he was about 10. And we were in the middle of the street, and they were doing they just started the zip line. They'd go overhead, and there was girls in the middle, and they zip lined right over us, and Mason went, oh, and they went over, and then he goes, Dad, that girl wasn't wearing any underwear. Yeah, so yeah, our kids learned a lot in a hurry.
Morgan and I were in the room having prayer.
I don't think so. She was sick. I would have taken her, but she was 2.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she was sick.
All right, number 2, Portland, Maine, which we have also been to Maine. We didn't go that far north, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Agunquit is where we went.
Oh, talk about a rude awakening. The Paddy's Day plunge of Portland, Maine involves jumping into the freezing Atlantic Ocean at 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Those who brave the early alarm and the frigid waters then enjoy a free Irish breakfast, a live auction, and a raffle at a nearby restaurant. It's also for a good cause and not just the adrenaline. The event donates proceeds to charity.
I would totally do that.
Yeah, no, come on.
For free breakfast?
Come on. We have a pool in our backyard, and if it's less than 75 degrees, we're not in it.
Free breakfast.
I mean, okay, next time it's freezing cold, if you'll jump in the pool, I'll make you some Cheerios. No, I'll make you Lucky Charms.
No, I don't want, I want gravy.
I'll make you Lucky Charms with gravy.
I do miss gravy.
Yeah. Do they have unprocessed gravy?
No.
All right. You got to get faster on your drawings. These are short lists.
I mean, these are quality drawings. You got to take your time. This is the jump.
I should guess what they are before.
Okay. It's the Portland, Maine frigid polar bear jump.
Yeah, it's just stick people by a house.
That's a pier.
Oh, okay.
Look how nice Patty Back looks in the background.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
All right.
Are you bumping into that?
Sorry. Oh, probably. Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
Number 3, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Mm.
We've been there.
Oh, yeah.
Not,
I mean, they just need a reason to party.
They don't need a reason to party.
Yeah, that's true.
That was where the guy kept following me around, saying, I can tell you where you got your shoes. If you pay me $5, I'll tell you where you got your shoes.
Then you used the joke on somebody else.
I did. And then he goes, you got your shoes on your feet.
And then did you give him $5?
No. I don't think I did. I think we ran off.
Yeah.
No one throws a party like New Orleans.
That's true.
And on St. Patrick's Day, the city flocks down to the Irish Channel neighborhood for a veritable street party. New Orleans might be the only place where you can take part in a vegetable food fight, too. Think all the ingredients that go in Irish stew, especially cabbage, minus the beef. This ceremonial throwing of the cabbages using underhanded technique so no one gets hurt is meant to memorialize how cabbage replaced potatoes during the potato famine, thus becoming a staple of Irish cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when they said they were throwing vegetables, that was the first thing I thought, is someone just, like, throwing potatoes like a baseball at each other. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know the Irish.
And then it's only going to take one guy to lose their cool.
And that's about 30 seconds in.
Right. Oh, hit me with a potato! Are you out now?
I'm going to...
I was going to say, you could use this whiteboard.
Yeah, I might. But let's see what else you got, because I might not have anything.
I mean, that's it for that.
Okay.
For New Orleans. If I were going to draw New Orleans, I would draw... We went to the Museum of the Dead.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I loved it.
The kids went and got beignets, and we smelled a lot of pee.
A lot of pee.
Also, so I'm a cemetery buff, right? We went to cemetery number 5. It's called St. Louis Cemetery number 5. Nicolas Cage has a pyramid grave waiting for him there, but the cemetery's packed full, and like the mother of voodoo or something's buried there, or above ground.
We went that morning on vacation. We went to this place that said they were known for their pancakes, And we went in, and I go, let's get 3 pancakes for each kid. And the lady goes, do you know how big our pancakes are? And I went, I guess not. And she said, you should order 1 pancake. And then when they brought it out, it was like the size of a medium pizza.
It was so
like
good.
When you have pancakes, you cut a slice, like a pizza slice, out of the pancake. It was gigantic. And then I was glad she didn't let me order 6 of them.
Right, but then you got that. You ordered shrimp and grits, and you got crawdads and grits.
That is true.
That's traumatic, and I'm sorry.
I've never intentionally eaten a crawdad before, not my thing. And I ordered shrimp and grits. And then I was eating it, and I thought, tastes kind of funny, but, could be a localization thing. And then she brought the bowl out to someone else. And then he goes, hey, I ordered shrimp, or I ordered crawdads, and this is shrimp. And then I went, did I finish eating it?
I don't know. You probably peeked around on the grits and
I think I was already done.
Pulling out little crawdad antennas, pulling them out.
Their legs. All right. Chicago, Illinois, number 4.
Home of all parties.
We already know this one. Of all the cities that dye their waterways or landmarks green for St. Patty's Day, and there are many, Chicago's Green River is the most famous. Every year, the Chicago River turns green in time for a parade held on the closest Saturday, which would have been yesterday. This tradition has been guarded by the Butler and Rowan families for more than 50 years. A 6-person boat crew, family only, distributes a top-secret recipe that contains eco-friendly vegetable-based dye into the river, casting a spell on the water that can last for a few days.
Right.
I think it's kind of funny that on the other one they said the first time they used so much that it lasted for a week, but this says it could last for a few days, and a few is more than a couple. A couple's 2. So a few is 3 or 4, so I don't feel like it was that much of a tragedy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So
have we seen in person? Have we seen it? I don't know.
We were in Chicago one year for St. Patrick's Day. The picture's on Facebook today. Our whole family came.
Yeah.
And we all wore green. It was really fun, but we did not go downtown.
There's 20 to 30 O'Hares in that picture, except for me.
Because you're taking the picture.
Because I took the picture, but I did Photoshop myself into it later.
Right.
Okay. There's the river, yeah.
Right. So if you've never been to Chicago for St. Patrick's Day, I will say, so the Chicago River runs through downtown Chicago. There's skyscrapers on either side, and the boats and stuff. You can go on these cool tours and stuff like that. Highly recommend. Also, the food in Chicago is the best food in the world.
Go get an Irish beef hot dog.
Yeah, or an Irish beef sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Or Irish pizza.
Yeah. Or
right?
Irish beer.
Or Irish whiskey, which is actually true. Anyway, that's kind of what it's like. Like you can get on these boats and stuff, and there's bridges that go across like all the major streets, and you can go stand on the bridges and watch the river get dyed and just do all kinds of stuff on the river. But it's literally in the middle of skyscraper town.
Oh yeah,
Chicago is the bomb. Other than it gets cold in the winter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5, Hot Springs, Arkansas. We've been to Arkansas many, many times.
Can't help it.
We've been to Hot Springs.
We pulled over the other day. We were driving somewhere, and we pulled into Hot Springs. And I was like, oh, I love a tourist town. But we've never stayed there.
All right. Let's do that.
Yeah. But not during the eclipse, because it's already, like, overbooked by 35%.
Yeah. We're having to find interesting places to go for the eclipse. Hot Springs is the home of the world's shortest St. Patrick's Day parade, which takes place on the shortest official street in everyday use in the world, as it was named by Ripley's Believe It or Not in the 1940s. Bridge Street, which is only 98 feet long, hosts the hour-long parade, which includes Elvis impersonators, a Blarney Stone kissing contest, and various other performances.
How do you get a crowd to come sit in a 90-foot stretch of road?
I mean, you got to cram in tight. You got to get in there.
Right. Kind of like kissing the Blarney Stone.
Yeah.
I'll draw a picture of that.
Which you've done.
I've done that, and that's why I have the gift of gab.
Do you need the driver's? Okay, so give me the black side of that, so I can use that as a mouse pad.
So the legend says, Blarney Castle, right, is in Ireland.
Yes.
And legend says that if you kiss the Blarney Stone, that you will have the gift of gab for the rest of your life, right? What they don't tell you, I've had it before, to tell you the truth, but what they don't tell you before you get there, if you didn't research it, is the Blarney Stone is like a hole in the wall. And you have to go through these curving paths, right, to get up to the top of the castle where there's the Blarney Stone. And then there are these 2 guys. Let me see if I can draw this for you. There are these 2 guys that hold your legs. You have to bend, you have to scooch way back into the hole in the wall. And then you have to hang your head over underneath the castle wall and kiss the bottom of the Blarney Stone. It is not a feat for the faint of heart, I shall say.
Yeah. Didn't you have to walk up a bunch of steps to get there?
Yeah, curving. It's like really tight little stone. I mean, everything. Obviously, it's castle stone steps. But this is kind of what it's like. Like, let's see if this will make sense to you. So this is me.
Oh, no.
That's the castle wall up at the top of, like, let's say a 4-story castle, right?
Yeah.
And then you lean back and scooch underneath the castle wall. And the Blarney Stone is like that stone right there. Yeah.
It's not just like a rock.
Oh, no. It's not just a standing rock. But it's literally like they hold your feet so you don't fall out of the castle hole.
All right.
Pretty amazing.
Yep.
But I did get the gift of gab, and I'm thankful for that. Because now look at me here on the YouTube.
I think you had it before that. Number 6, Montserrat.
Okay.
Is that how you say that?
Nah, haven't been there.
This Caribbean island, home to a sizable Irish Catholic population since the 17th century, is the only place in the world outside of Ireland where St. Patrick's Day is a public holiday. Montserrat's celebration isn't just generally proportioned. It lasts for 10 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's on our list to go to.
Montserrat.
We haven't been to the Caribbean, have we? I mean,
that's where we vacation twice a year.
I guess we've been to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't been to Montserrat. In addition to celebrating the saint, the day also commemorates a slave rebellion and includes a calypso competition and Creole food, blending the island's Irish and African heritage. I think this sounds like a blast. I think this sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Calypso competition. I'm in. Jump in the line. Rock your body in time. Okay. I believe you. Isn't that Calypso?
I think so.
Yeah, see?
Shake, shake, shake.
Oh, copyright strike.
You just sang it.
I know. That's what I meant for me. It's not going to recognize you. So, anyway, fun celebration. I like that they mixed it. You got the African food, Caribbean kind of style, but it's also Irish. You know what I like the most about it? 10 days.
I bet we would be exhausted at the end of 10 days. We'd be like, I'm so done with this stupid place.
One time I spent 11 days in Vegas, and like day 5, I was like, that's it. I'm just driving out to the desert and sitting there. I'm sick of this.
Right.
Okay, you ready for number 7?
I mean, we need to understand where Montserrat is. I thought that was a place that you could gamble a lot.
Probably.
You know?
If it's in the Caribbean.
Right?
Yeah. It's like offshore betting.
What was the name of the dance that they did there?
The Calypso?
Yeah, that's a dance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, here you go. This is my version of what it would be like in Montserrat. So there's a palm tree with some shamrocks hanging off of it, and then 2 people who've already completed their dance, and then a 3rd person doing the dance. Right?
Just isn't that the same dance that the Charlie Brown people did?
Yeah, they only have one move.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
All right. Number 7, Brussels. We got to speed this up.
Okay, let's go.
Brussels, Belgium. Along with the traditional parade, Brussels residents play Irish sports such as Gaelic football, hurling, and I think this is camogie on March 17th. And by the way, I looked these up because I want to tell you what this is. Okay? Not hurling. We celebrate that here on March 18th. And if you feel like dusting off your sports attire later and cleaning up, head over to the Black Tie St. Patrick's Day Ball, where you can toast during a champagne reception. It is unclear whether the champagne is green or not. Okay, let me tell you about this. What is that?
Hurling.
That's wrong hurling. I don't know if the green is showing up.
Oh, here, I'll switch to black. I was just doing green because I'm festive.
Well, I got it, but if people can't see it, your talents are wasted.
They are truly wasted.
So this hurling or this, I don't know how you say it, camogie? I don't know. But anyway, I looked it up literally on YouTube earlier. It is a women's sport, okay? I want you to imagine, I mean, it's a combination, it seems like, of a bunch of sports. Imagine a soccer field. Actually, imagine a rugby field, okay? all women. They're all wearing like shorts and whatever, just like shirts, like not
frocks,
not padding.
Oh,
and then not pads. And then they have helmets on with things guarding their face. Okay, every one of them have a paddle. I mean, it looks like not a hockey stick, but like an oar. Like an oar. Okay, and then they play with this ball that's looks like a baseball. And so I don't know the rules. I only know from the 30 seconds I watched on YouTube. Okay, but
do they hit each other with the oars?
I mean, unintentionally, I'm sure they do. So what happens is you can either whack the ball really hard, and on the end zones is like football goalposts, but it goes all the way up. And then there's a line. I think you can't go over the bar. I think you got to go under the bar, right? Because there's a goalie. But it's almost like hockey. But you can either hit the ball or you can run with it. But they balance the ball on the end of the oar, like they're like like that. They balance it on the oar.
That's hurling.
Yes. Well, I think it's the other one. But I mean, it looks fun. But then someone drops the ball, and then 10 people go in there, and they just start whacking each other with the stick.
Yeah, I'm not down for that.
You'd be super mad.
I do not like getting whacked.
Yeah. Let's see. Number 8, Banwin, Wales. Now, here's where we're going to get into some controversy. This Welsh city has laid claim to being St. Patrick's birthplace. But we heard it was in Britain. Remember?
Isn't Wales part of Britain? Like the Prince of Wales is from Britain?
They ritualize it annually. According to members of the Banwin and District History Club in Wales, St. Patrick was born in Banwin in the year 385 AD. The parade culminates at a stone ceremony commemorating the saint's alleged birthplace. Maybe it is? I don't know. I felt like there was more controversy about that. These last two you're going to like. You got something here?
It's that sport you described. I know it does look like she's wearing a life jacket, but that's pants and a shirt.
And then it's almost like a butterfly net.
Yeah, only it's a paddle and it's got a ball in it, and she's just whacked the other lady whose hair is apparently falling off.
Well, it's a good hit.
Right? Ouch.
Number 9, you ready?
Yep.
International Space Station. How international are we talking here? Because apparently St. Patrick's Day isn't only earthbound. In 2013, a Canadian astronaut wore green, took a photo of Ireland from space, and posted a video of him singing Danny Boy.
Aww.
This builds on the precedent of another astronaut who performed an Irish flute song in space to commemorate St. Patrick's Day. Let me just tell you this right now. If I'm on the International Space Station and somebody brought a flute, it's going in space.
See, okay.
It is going out the airlock.
Right. Let me just say this for a second.
Give me that! Right out the door.
I'm going to have to call a dookie on the flight, the International Space Station flute.
Why?
Because there's no air.
What do you think they breathe inside the space station?
Don't they wear masks and stuff?
No!
Oh, they're using up... Okay. They're using up the space station air to blow the flute. No.
I think they have air generators. I mean, they're up there. There's been people that have been up there for years.
You're right. I'm smoking crack. Forget it. Forget I said that. Okay.
They're not actually out in space. The vacuum of space.
Forget I said it. I just wasn't thinking straight.
Like you send a guy out right before he dies, he goes...
I used my last air for this.
I died for this flute solo.
His name was Paddywhack.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Last one.
Yeah.
Ready? I think this is... I don't know how to say this. It's in Japan, and it says ISE. You think it's ice?
Could be Issei.
Issei?
I don't know.
I apologize to our Japanese-speaking friends. One of Japan's St. Patrick Day parades kicks off at the Ice Shrine, which is dedicated to a Shinto sun goddess. With the Japanese and Irish flags flying together, residents dress like leprechauns, play bagpipes, and do jigs. Okay. I thought that said jigsaws. I was like,
They get together and they do puzzles.
a really boring thing
They
to
dress
watch.
as like puns and they do puzzles.
Does anybody have a square piece? I need a quarter piece.
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
The day culminates with an oyster festival.
It has nothing
I mean,
to
that
do.
is a whack. That is crazy. People just eating oysters, playing bagpipes, and doing jigsaw puzzles.
Right? I mean,
that is a good combo.
I will say this. I mean, think about it. Ireland is an island, and so they probably actually do have a lot of seafood, right?
When I think of Irish food, I don't think of oysters.
I think of chips and Guinness.
Fish and chips. Where you get from a chipper.
Shepherd's pie.
You get it from a chipper.
The best shepherd's pie you'll ever eat is in Ireland, you know?
Yeah. All right. Let's finish up last drawing here.
Oh, this is my last drawing? I'm going to save
well,
it.
we're done. We're done with the list.
All right. So that is people dressed as leprechauns.
That's a pretty good Japanese flag. I mean,
Putting
it's not that hard. Just circle.
I know, right? Flag. Yeah. Doing a puzzle.
Doing a puzzle. Doing jig saws. All right. And we had, this episode, we had to overcome some technical difficulties. One of our microphones died right before this, which I'll be sending back. We've got backup audio. We had camera issues. We had every kind of issue you could have. But you know what? There's nothing that can stop us from enjoying. Let's do a toast with our two empty glasses. Are these the O'Hara glasses?
Yeah, they say O. They just have O on them.
Oh, they just have O's on them.
Yeah.
I'm going to show it. We do have some from a
bar.
A bar named O'Hara's Pub.
There's an O'Hara's Pub and an O'Hara's Beer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and then I broke one of them. I dropped it. So.
And you said, O'Hara.
O'Hara. So, if you happen to live near O'Hara's Pub and you pick up and walk out with a glass, we could use one.
Right.
We're missing one from
So there's nothing about Conor McGregor. I can't even do it.
A Conor Walkman, he's got it's like that. We're doing a drunk leprechaun something. I don't know what to do.
You don't get drunk on one green beer.
No.
Just so everyone knows, Mom.
Hey, I want to plug something. The Retroist, who I've been listening to his podcast for a long time, has started a new spin-off show called the Video Store Podcast, and the setup is you're like walking into a old school video rental store, and there's an employee there who is telling you, giving film recommendations. You know, that was a way it worked. You, especially like not necessarily Blockbuster, but like a mom and pop kind of place. Mm-hmm. You would walk in and the guy would be like, "Hey, have you seen this? You seen this?" And also, they had a staff picks wall, so the employees that worked there would pick their favorite movies, right? And they would be like, "Oh, here's this week's staff picks," and I'd have their name. Yeah. Like, here's Mike's picks. There'd be 4 movies. So anyway, he did an episode, and he has invited me to join him. So I just did the second episode of the Video Store Podcast, and you can find that on iTunes, or I'll put a link down in the show notes here. But my 4 picks were 4 Irish-related movies for St. Patrick's Day. Yep. So I recommended, and I try not to just pick the super obvious ones, but I picked Waking Ned Devine, which is a classic Irish film. Darby O'Gill and the Little People, which is a movie that we grew up on, old Disney movie. And then I recommended one called The Van, which is part of a trilogy. If you've seen The Commitments, the Irish, they put the band together. This is in the same universe. It's in the same town. Actually, it's about a guy. It's where I just learned what chipper meant, which a guy loses his job and decides to open a food truck. And he says, "I'm going to buy a chipper van." And a chipper van is slang for any place that sells fish and chips, or just deep fried food, I guess. So he opens a fish and chips food van. And the last one was Leprechaun 4 in Space, because you know my affinity for bad B movies, and I watch a lot of bad B movies. And so if you're going to watch a Leprechaun movie, Leprechaun 4 in Space is... I was going to say it's not a bad place to start, but it's a bad place to start. I mean, all of them.
I thought you were going to say you picked that movie that was set in Ireland, and it was the guy that was like, I'm not your friend anymore, and if you come here, I'm going to cut my hand off.
That was the Banshee.
Such a good movie.
And it was a great movie, but this is like a retro kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Older movie, so we're trying to keep it, maybe 90s and earlier. So,
yeah.
But that was a great movie. So that is out there. We'll put that on a plug. Don't forget to subscribe, to like these videos, to send them to your friends. We're going to keep doing them.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's only 10 views or 20 views or...
They're fun. It's a fun project
to work on. It's fun for us to do. And I've been podcasting for a long, long time. And being able to do it with you, it's fun.
Yeah, I'm a guest on a lot of podcasts worldwide. And I've never actually done an in-person podcast before. So that's kind of fun and different. Totally different topics, like the worlds don't collide. The only common thread in between any of the stuff I do is me.
Yep.
So I'm going to plug something completely different that's totally not related to this.
All right.
I just wrote a book about artificial intelligence this week and published it. And it is the executive's discreet guide to artificial intelligence for people who are like me, who have been in business for a long time and don't know anything about artificial intelligence but need to fake it. So that's... other than my amazing artistic talents, I actually do have.
Okay, hang on for a second. So we've lost this mic.
Oh.
So I'm going to replug this back in.
Okay.
And see if that works, and then I will fix this in post.
Yeah.
Or I'll go to that mic.
Oh man, that's a bummer. These mics kind of suck.
It's not the mics. It's because I have so many USB things.
Oh, gotcha. Anyway, so I wrote that book this week. But yeah, there's a whole different side of me besides just goofy artist.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Well, that's everything we got.
Let's go drink a Guinness and eat that corned beef.
We're going to go drink some beer. We're going to have some corned beef and hash, and we're going to go celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So thanks, everybody, for watching another episode. And happy St. Patrick's Day. And
he'll dance us out.
Bye, everybody.
There you go.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody.